I think you and I share a common friend that we probably didn't know we had in common, and that is Sean Springs. And
Oh,
I
look at
had
that.
Sean on the show, and it was really an interesting discussion because he talked about the bookends of his career, the places where he learned the most about himself, and that was
Mhm.
when he initially started with the Seahawks and then where he ended his career with the Patriots. But he told me this story that he was this young Ohio State kid, comes to the Seahawks, and the thing he talked about all the time was the culture. And he said the culture wasn't just Pete Carroll and the coaching staff. He said it went up to the ownership. He told me the story that one time he remembered that Paul Allen, when he was pretty junior to the team, took him on this personal like tour with him. And here he's thinking, I'm here with this billionaire. But while I was with him, he made me feel like I was the most important person. And he told me that not only was it the goal for the Seahawks to make him a great performer, but they wanted to make him a great human being.
Yeah.
And you have a quote that I found that describes this, where you say, "We are humans first, then we are human doers."
Mhm.
And that goes back to what I was talking about when I was at Lowe's, was until you make the people feel like they're humans and that whatever they're doing matters, until you do that, they're never going to perform to the level that you want them to.
That's right. Yeah, or what they're capable of. I feel like there's this leadership sometimes in the old way, it's like control and power and responsibilities and accountability. It's like this old idea of leadership. And the modern leader, if I go back to it, is really about helping people unlock this dormant potential that they have within them. So modern leaders, it's not about control and power and decision-making rights. It is more about coaching and understanding the basic psychology of humans and human performance. And I'm not talking about psychotherapy. I mean, I'm classically trained as a psychologist with specialization in sport and performance, and I'm not suggesting that my skill set be ported to business operators and leaders. I am suggesting, though, that the basic foundational understanding of how human behavior and motivation and drive and security, how those things work, is part of the toolbox to help people be their very best. We are tired, we are fatigued in a real way. We are anxious. We are overwhelmed. We barely know our family members at the altar of productivity and Wall Street and the making sure that we have some sort of security in modern work. People are not thriving right now. If I were to give the grade to US workforce, it's not great as compared to the grade of people who know their purpose, are aligned on a team that's thriving, embrace the consequences, and at the same time are fundamentally committed to be their very best and to be the best with other people is a very different way of living. And so I am concerned about the state of the union of people right now. And I don't say that, I don't want to ring that bell and then not provide like a second part of the conversation, which is, so what do we do as individuals? Increasing awareness of how you speak to yourself, on how you work with your emotions, and how the unfolding world around you is taking place. So, increasing awareness of your thoughts, your emotions, your physiology, and the world around you is the starting ground to be able to navigate this very complex world around us and this complex world inside of us. So, awareness is at the kind of the core seat of the whole thing. And there's three ways we can increase awareness: mindfulness, a la meditation, conversations with people of wisdom, and the third is journaling. So it's those 3 practices that I've been doing this for 25 years. They're at the core of the whole thing. And so if you're doing at least one of those, I stand on the table and say, "Right, keep going," like you're on it. Then once you have awareness, you start to lay on psychological skills. So how do you speak to yourself to provide space as opposed to constriction? How do you speak to yourself to back yourself rather than doubt yourself? How do you work with emotions as opposed to inviting them and being seeing them as being exciting as opposed to being overwhelmed? How do you work with stress, acute stress, and more importantly than chronic stress? And so it's the inner world that provides like this exponential output for living the great life. And that includes like performing in a special way, but also just living in a special way. So I just want to keep pointing to the power and potency of going within as an outsized impact for any type of life that you want to have, whether it's to be the best, your best, to be content and happy, whatever it might be. It's an outsized impact to actually train your inner life. And we do that in elite sport the same way that we train our technical skills or our physical skills. So for physical skills, we go to the gym, right? So if you're going to train your body, you go to the gym. I don't know, 45 minutes to 90 minutes a day, 4 hours a day for elite athletes is the max of what they do. So think about 4 hours a day for an elite athlete to train their body. And most of us will never get near that. We're like more like 45 minutes, right? Like I was saying earlier. But what if you only did 30 minutes a day of training your mind? What if you did 15 minutes a day on a dedicated fashion? And what if you worked your way up to 45 minutes a day of training your mind, working with your emotions? The impact is exponential.
I've always been taught that if you just spend 15 minutes a day over the course of a year, if you're repetitive about the practice, you'll be 96% better than anyone else in that discipline.
I mean, there's some data there. And I would say less being better than others. Imagine as successful as you are or the listener is, and they've probably gotten to the position in life that they're in without much disciplined work on like breathing, meditation, self talk, all of that kind of inner psychological work.